All right, so let's start with the big story that we are tracking on WION at this hour. Russia and Belarus have begun joint military drills along the border with Ukraine amidst the escalating tensions with the West. Now, the White House has termed the move as clearly escalatory, even though Kremlin insists that its troops will leave Belarus as soon as the drills are done with on the 20th of February. Now, amidst this, the Pentagon has once again warned of a huge troop build-up on the northern borders with Ukraine, while sending its own troops to Romania to bolster NATO's eastern flank. Now, to get us more information in terms of what's in fact unfolding with the crisis in Ukraine and also how far has diplomacy reached in diffusing the crisis in Ukraine, our executive editor Palki Sharma Upadhyay joins us live from Kiev. Now, good afternoon to you, Palki. This of course is going to be a very crucial moment in this entire of the crisis. Russia is going ahead with its military drills in Belarus, and the Americans are dubbing this as clearly an escalatory act on the part of the Russians.
Absolutely, it's a very, very important day, Saleh. We've been tracking this for more than a week now here in Ukraine, and of course we've been tracking the conflict for months. And you could say that today is a make or break day. I say this because today Russia begins its very serious military drills with Belarus. This is a 10-day long drill that begins today, and like you said, the White House has termed this escalatory. At the same time, we are also going to see the Normandy talks happen in about 4 hours from now in Berlin, where foreign policy advisors of France, Germany, Ukraine and Russia are going to hold talks, and they are going to push for the implementation of the Minsk agreement. So will talks deliver, or will these exercises be used as a pretext to actually launch an incursion into Ukraine is something that the world is waiting to see, but very, very crucial moment in this conflict with Russia surrounding Ukraine from all sides in the dark of night. Yesterday, 3 more Russian warships crossed into the Bosphorus. So the Russian troops are well in place. If they decide to launch an offensive, they are well prepared, they are well in their position. All they have to do is give the order from Moscow, and we could see some sort of military escalation.
You know, that is what makes this conflict so much more complicated. In terms of what Russia has to say, it keeps insisting repeatedly, not once, not twice, but again and again, that it has no plans of carrying out an incursion into Ukraine. But what it does in terms of its actions is something contrary to that. It is getting its soldiers to move into positions which potentially will allow Russia to launch an incursion into Ukraine pretty much at a moment of its choice. How are people within Ukraine looking at these Russian maneuvers?
There is absolute distrust vis-a-vis Russia when it comes to the people of Ukraine. They do not trust Vladimir Putin. They say that he is not your typical leader and there is no telling what he's going to do. As for Russia saying that it does not plan to invade, this is typical Russian strategy. Russia has backed separatist groups in the Donbas region, in the eastern region, which remains one of the points of contention. And everyone is talking about implementing the Minsk agreement. But remember, if you go through the fine print, Russia does not even admit to being a party to the problem. So how can Russia be a part of the solution? Russia has always maintained that plausible deniability, as you call it in strategic terms, and Russia continues to say that they are not planning to invade. At the same time, they've come up with a new set of demands. They say that all foreign troops must leave from this region, that the Western allies of Ukraine should take back all the weapons, and they should stop joint drills with NATO. That is what the Russians have now demanded, while calling Emmanuel Macron's proposals, quote-unquote, realistic. That's the word Vladimir Putin used. They're also saying that there is no question of de-escalation at the moment.
But also, diplomacy has been going on full scale over the course of this week. Has diplomacy by Emmanuel Macron and also the diplomacy that we expect by Olaf Scholz, has that shown any results so far?
I would say no, it hasn't. While the Europeans say that Emmanuel Macron's overtures, both in Moscow and Kiev, have created what they call a sense of détente, a sense of winding down of tensions, it is not evident in Russia's actions. Russia continues to build up its forces, and this is very important to note. While people say, will there be a war, will there not be a war, we don't know. But Russian deployments have not stopped. They've only gone up with each passing day, and that's very important to note. While the West Western allies of Ukraine keep sending aid. The Brits have sent something. The Americans keep sending soldiers. The Americans also keep saying that we have enough forces in Poland in place in case American citizens wish to evacuate. There are 6,600 odd American citizens who are registered with the US Embassy here in Ukraine, and there may be many more. So all of that build-up continues to happen, and that is very, very serious. And all observers of this conflict say that while the threat of war always hovered over Ukraine, the fact that Russia has put in place this kind of deployment, and it has been going on for more than 3 months, makes it a very serious situation. In the history of Europe since the Second World War, we've not seen this kind of military build-up.
All right, we'll have to leave there. Thank you very much indeed, Palki Mahapatia, for joining us and getting us all those updates there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.